Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. It is your boy Prince of this, and I am back here with the second part y'all been asking for, and here it is. And like I said, I made these all in advance, so I got y'all. Also, it is about like 5 o'clock right now. I'm gonna go and finally start my morning run, get ready for boot camp and all that stuff. So I'm gonna try to make this as quick and also as precise as possible for the story. I won't try to rush like I did in the last part. Sorry if y'all felt like you couldn't keep up. I was super hyper for no reason. I don't know. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all of my future videos. And yeah, let's start with the recap. We began with Luffy being found by Kobe, and Luffy would beat up Alvida and save Kobe, leaving everyone surprised by his strength. And they do not know Luffy. He does not have a bounty, so it's much more impressive. They then go to the naval base where Luffy frees Zoro while beating up Don Krieg, and then has a match with the swordsman, who then agrees to join him. The two then leave behind Kobe and are hailed as heroes, as they do not know each other that much yet, but they're starting to and grow as friends. Then on a new island they find Nami, but Luffy went and beat up Buggy when he realized that, he was trying to terrorize the whole town. Nami joins them for benefits, and she and Zoro learn about Rika. Rika would heave away Buggy and they leave. She literally throws him like super far. And they don't really paying mind to the villagers thinking them, they just go away. They then go and meet Gaimon and then later Usopp. They bond over stopping Kuro, but it's mostly Luffy and Zoro doing more of the work, and they get to see Luffy do something else, which was using the Inumaki sigil, Cursed Speech. Kuro is taken care of with one punch and is killed. Things are fixed. Usopp joins the crew and they go back to the seas. They then meet Yosaku and Johnny, make their flat before then heading to Baratie. They get into some trouble with Iron Fist Full Body, who upon meeting them tries to attack. He fails, gets humbled, but not only beat up by Luffy, but then by Sanji later. Well, he doesn't get beat by Luffy, but like he gets humiliated and humbled. But then Sanji beats his ass. A bunch of crazy things happen. You're gonna have to listen to the part yourself. But essentially, Luffy does the same thing, except that he shows he can heal people, and he heals a Marine that was shot by Gin as he makes his entrance. He's just like trying to be nice. The Marine would then grab Iron Fist and leave, while Gin would of course come in to get some food, but he causes trouble and he gets thrown out by Patty. Luffy heals him, and Sanji would then give him a meal in secret, and the three would then talk. Luffy tries to recruit Sanji, but he says that he can't leave, and they have a conversation. He says that he wants to find the All Blue, after Luffy says he wants to be the king of the pirates. I'll pick up with Sanji standing as he grabs the plate of Gin's now finished meal, which he then throws to the sea. Alright, you never took anything from me. Got it? As he stands, Gin would then thank him as he looks back to Luffy. Just be careful, the Grand Line's full of monsters. Got it. Gin would then head to his little ship as he leaves while also thanking Luffy for healing him, and a day would then pass. The Straw Hats agree to stay around along with Johnny and Yosaku, and they just get to eat fine meals, so they're not really complaining. And Luffy is still trying to recruit Sanji, who gets a little closer, with the pirate. The day will then carry on like usual, but slowly every customer, whether it be criminals or people who are here for a meal, start to alert each other about an approaching ship. They look out the windows to see the giant ship of Don Krieg. Look, the hourglass near the skull symbolizes that time's run out for their enemies. We're gonna die! Wait, actually, the ship looks horrible. They notice as the ship gets closer that it's in a horrible state. It is battered or ruined, and as it gets closer and closer, soon Gin would bring aboard Don himself, and the chefs would be waiting for them, having weapons in their hands. Please, can I have some food? I got money. Tons of it, said Don. From the Straw Hat ship, Usopp would then panic along with Yosaku and Johnny, while Zoro simply looks forward, wondering if something bad is going to happen, or if Luffy is just going to stop it all. Luffy and Nami would then stand from their seats in the dining room, as Sanji would then walk out with some food, which he lays before the pirate, and everyone is mad at him for doing this, but the cooks who try to scold them get a kick in the head each. And Patty was then knocked back as he pleads for Zeph to stop this dumbass, and Don would then quickly dig into the food, and Gin would thank Sanji, who says it's no problem. That monster used to be a prisoner, and he made his way up to the top by being as ruthless as possible. He does whatever is necessary to win. That's who you're feeding, Sanji. Someone who the world will be better without. Don at that moment would then actually throw a Laria and swing at Sanji, leaving everyone gasping as the cook is then sent flying, but Luffy would then move and catch him while letting him down. Captain, don't do this. He helped us. This is good, Gin said, and he's then grabbed by the neck and lifted up and made to be quiet, while Don would then take a deep breath and say, thank you for the food. Nice restaurant. I think I'll take it. Already people start to run out. The customers run out, make their way to the back of the ship, and they just like leave. And the cooks and pirates now only reside. It's just the crew and the cooks. And Luffy would then ask Sanji if he's okay, and he says that he's fine. As he apologizes to Sanji, Don will then say that he has many men he needs to feed right now, and that all the chefs will go and make meals for them. Get to it. Sorry, that's not gonna happen, Luffy said as he walked forward with everyone telling him to stop. Luffy, even if you can heal yourself, he won't stop pummeling you, said Kid. Just run, I'm sorry. So one of you has enough guts to actually defy me, said Don. He throws a punch, but it is blocked one-handed by Luffy as he's a bit surprised with Don then smiling, saying, You're stronger than you look, eh? But I was holding back. He throws another punch, but it is once again blocked by Luffy, who finally punches him, and the sheer force of it and his cursed energy rips off his coat to show his golden armor. He must have eaten some devil fruit. Well, sorry, kid, but a crack is then heard, however, as the armor is then blown off next, forcing everyone to duck because everything is just ricocheting around, and Nami would then smile and say, That was gold. Yep, Luffy's pissed. Grabbing Don by the face, Luffy would then hoist him up and knee him in the face as he crushes in his nose and makes his face just cave in. He bursts with blood. You went off to the Grand Line, got scared, and came back for some chowder, huh? Says Zeph. Looks like the sea isn't done with you, or showing you surprises. As Zeph says this, Don would then fall to his knees in a daze, completely unconscious, as Luffy would then knock him back with a flick to the head. That's my cook. Don't touch him. Gin now realizes why Luffy wasn't afraid of the Grand Line, that abnormal strength is insane. And at that moment, the chefs then storm Luffy, saying that was awesome. How the hell did you do that? I just punch. He's not that strong, honestly. Yeah, I'll just take your word for it. Sanji, you gotta go with this kid. Hell no. I'm gonna become a head chef here. Please. Sanji would then turn back to see Zeph, who says that he barely knows how to cook, which anchors Sanji. Just like that, things become tense, right as the Straw Hats and Bounty Hunters run in, the others, and they find everything fixed. But now Sanji and Zeph were arguing. That's Don Creek? Wow, he must have really pissed off Luffy, Usopp said. I'm not leaving until I become a head chef, Sanji yells. For yelling this, however, Sanji is then kicked across the face by Zeph using his wood leg, and as he hits the floor, Zeph would then see that he can barely even do his job without flirting all the time. That silence is all that remains, and the hate between the two will just grow and grow. The chefs don't really know what to say, but they know why Zeph is doing this. At that very moment, though, they feel the ship shake and fall, except for Zeph, Sanji, Luffy, and Zoro, who turn back and look to see the Don Creek ship is now split in half. Quickly, Zoro would then see something, and he would then leap off the balcony and land below on deck, and he begins to tie his bandana as his body shakes with excitement and a bit of fear. Are you Dracula Mihawk? He yells. Mihawk would then ride forward as the chefs and everyone run out to the balcony, and Luffy would also make it down next to Zoro, and Zeph from above would then become scared upon seeing Mihawk. The chefs notice and can understand why, since he split a ship in half. But they ask who he really is because they don't know, and Zeph will tell them he's the strongest swordsman. A warlord of the seas, someone you should not mess with. Mihawk would then see that he is indeed Dracula Mihawk, and Zoro would say, and Dracula would say, "Why do you ask? Are you foolish enough to challenge me?" Zoro would then leave off the boat and land on some broken parts of the ship as he says that he is foolish enough. And Mihawk would then stand with the bored expression as he instantly appears a few feet away from Zoro, which left everyone shocked. That's stupid. This guy's gotta be stupid. He's clearly gonna die, Sanji said. Yoseko and Johnny, however, in silence would cheer, like just thinking about it for their brother, only for Mihawk would then take out a little knife, a small knife. This angers Zoro, but of course, Mihawk says that he doesn't need a sword to beat him. Like, you're nothing to me. However, Zoro already knows his own captain is stronger than him. He has tasted defeat massively now. So despite saying that he's not much of a swordsman, like Luffy is extremely strong, he's been humbled. So he's not that pissed, and he dashes forward with this three-sword style. Regardless, though, that one knife is what stops him before he's then pushed back. But he continuously attacks again and again until he finds the blade at his chest. He is stabbed, and Yoseko and Johnny in this version of events, instead of screaming, ask Luffy, "Can you heal him?" Easily, Luffy said. Please do not go any further. Just don't move, Yoseko and Johnny thought. Why do you now retreat? Do you want me to ruin your body beyond repair? Mihawk asked. As he shivers, however, Zoro would say, honestly, I'm not afraid of death at this moment. I got a monster of a captain. I'd rather die pressing forward than backing down anyway. Mihawk would then take a look to Luffy, but find that aside from some decent muscle, he looks like pretty average. But taking the blade from Zoro, he then asks for him to name himself, and as he does, Mihawk would then take out Yoru. He's drawing that sword? Oh, he's taking him seriously. It's been a while since I met someone so brave, so I will show you the respect you deserve, Roronoa. With a smile, Zoro would make it to spin his swords, with Mihawk then becoming a little nervous, actually. And at that moment, as Zoro flashes forward, he yells, Santoryu Saisen Sekai. However, what is left after that flash and that attack is his two broken swords, with only Wado Ichimonji being left okay. He doesn't fret, however, and turns to face Mihawk with his arms out and just bare his chest forward. What, you're not gonna take a hit? Cuts on a swordsman's back are a disgrace, so I'm not cowering to you, you hear me? Mihawk, calling him crazy, would then slash and cut his chest open while he falls back, and in that instant, Luffy would then move just as fast as Mihawk and appear catching him. Everyone is caught off guard by this speed, even his crewmates and even Mihawk especially, who then watches as Luffy uses reverse cursed energy to slowly heal Zoro. A devil fruit. It seems you were hiding your true power. I never ate a devil fruit, trust me. I made this technique. Mihawk is quite surprised and even notices that the hat that he has on is very distinct and very familiar to a certain someone, and Luffy's words of never eating a devil fruit are definitely surprising. That's not even something those from the Grand Line or the New World can do, Zeph thought. Quickly, Yoseko and Johnny would then run over with Usopp, and Zoro is handed over with all his injuries being closed up. I left the scar behind. It looks too cool to take away, said Luffy. Zoro would then smile right as Luffy would then become more serious and unsheath his sword, which he then points to Mihawk, and everyone is surprised as Luffy would then say, I met someone once. He told me he never felt full. He felt empty. He had everything a man could want, a good woman, strong opponents, and he died sad. I don't want that to be you. Putting his sword forward, Mihawk would then see that his crew must be full of crazies, and quickly Usopp, Yoseko, and Johnny run off with Zoro as Luffy explodes with cursed energy so malicious that Mihawk is the one to attack first on instinct, but his hate is then effortlessly blocked, and a shockwave would then be seen and felt by all those present as Luffy makes the blade slide down his and he thrusts. Though Mihawk would dodge, he has his clothes ripped right as Luffy's blade would then turn black, and Mihawk is sent flying by a punch from Rika, who forms as he slams into a ship, some ship debris. What the what is that? What is that thing? The chefs and those who weren't part of Luffy's crew were so baffled, but Mihawk quickly attacks back, still looking bored, but Rika would then block his hits when Luffy attacks. What is that creature? Mihawk asks. My name is Rika. As she speaks, Luffy would then form the Inumaki sigils and saying, don't move. The swordman is then frozen right as he's then stabbed in the chest, right in the heart, and everyone becomes quiet as Luffy would then rip out the blade, and instantly, however, the wound is then healed, the Mihawk then backtracking and touching his chest in utter shock. Sorry, I got carried away, Luffy said. Do you feel satisfied now? Looking back to Luffy, he saw the black blade and smiles as Rika is then put away, with Luffy then saying he wouldn't use anything else but skill from now on. And I'll just curse you. The two would then quickly dash at each other, clashing over and over with everything around, rocking back and forth, shaking even the seas while they collide. This no longer felt like a fight between men, and it was too hard to comprehend. Zoro gets up to see this fight play out and truly sees how far he has to go, but he does not take his eyes off for even a moment. Every moment Luffy and Mihawk make felt like a part of a painting, a play of sorts. Then a critical slash is then released by Mihawk, taking the form of a violent green wave, but Luffy would then release cursed energy, which is now more clear and visible due to everyone's rising emotions, and the violent energy and Haki, well, he uses Haki by accident, would be pushed out, and Mihawk would notice. The attacks then clash and take to the skies as they begin to part the clouds and darken them. Luffy and Mihawk are then pulled apart further and further away, with the floor between them being cut and ravaged, and Luffy would then put away his sword as he bows. What a performance, Seth thought. This kid, he is not average by any means. Mihawk is so elated that he begins to laugh. What is your name? Monkey D. Luffy. The name of D. Not surprising. You are wonderful. He puts away his blade and begins to walk off until he disappears and arrives back on his little ship. If you're afraid to meet again, you and your first mate must show me more. How'd you know, Luffy asked. I guessed. With the turn, Luffy would then sheath his sword and head back to the deck right as Usopp then runs to him saying that was way too dangerous. Stop scaring us like that, man. You two, Zoro, you're both idiots. Agreed, Nambi said as she made her way down, saying, not much of a swordsman, huh? Well, it's not my thing. Right, Zoro? Zoro at this moment will then stand and look to Luffy, saying, I won't lose again. I promise. Until I fight him again, I'll never lose again. He begins to cry, saying, is that okay with you? King of the pirates. Yeah, that's perfect, Luffy said. Mihawk, meanwhile, we then realized something as he rode off. Sure of it. He was taught by him. That red hair sent me an amazing gift. Back at the ship, Gin is then seen carrying his captain to his own little boat as everyone simply watches, but Zeph told him not to say anything or do anything. But then a voice is then heard saying, stay safe, okay? Gin would then look back to see Luffy, who had said this, with Zeph then sighing as he thought, you're a pirate, huh? With tears in his eyes, Gin would then simply nod as he drags away Dawn, and once again, thanks Sanji and Luffy, while also apologizing very, very much so. Hours later, we see then Sanji walking from the Straw Hat ship and walking to the dining room as he hears a conversation and he stops. He listens, hearing the chef asking for Luffy to take away Sanji. He's always wanted to see the all blue, you know? He shouldn't be hanging around with some geezers like us. Well, if he doesn't want to come, I can't make him. I'll come with you. Jeez. The voice of Sanji is then heard as he makes his way in and he walks in. He said that he wanted to join, and Luffy is surprised by the shift in attitude. For context, Luffy cannot sense people unless they have some intent or high negative energy. He's not aware that he used Haki against Mihawk, and as you can guess by now, Shanks did train him, but he intentionally didn't tell Luffy about Haki, since Luffy said he wanted to have his own journey with his own circumstances. So, Shanks wants him to learn about Haki as he goes through the world. Sanji will then get his things, and it's not much, so he quickly makes it to the Straw Hat ship, and they start to leave. You're not gonna say goodbye, Johnny ass? Let's just go. Hey, Sanji, keep your feet dry, alright? Hearing this, Sanji is caught off guard as he quickly turns to see Zeph at the balcony of his room, and tears begin to flow as he could just not believe that, you know, this old man right here trying to be sentimental, and he would just bow. All these years I lived with you were the best times of my life. Nothing I do will ever be able to repay you. Just get out of here already, the cooks yell. And Sanji would then look up angry, however, he then sees the cooks barely holding back their tears, and they are emotional wrecks. I'm actually gonna miss your annoying ass. Just go. Find the all blue, alright? And don't come back until you do. Got it? Goodbye, you crappy cooks. You really need to be more honest with yourself, big bro, say Yosaku. Welcome to the crew. And Johnny or Yosaku, or Johnny joining us for now, Luffy said. Turning around, Sanji would then wipe his tears, saying, good to know. So, what do you guys want for lunch? We then fade to black. Hours later, they were made some steak, and each were enjoying it around the deck, when Nami would then come to and leave by Luffy, who was eating on the head of Mary, and Nami then asks, you know about Jinbei? Luffy shakes his head asking who that is, and Nami would then say he is a warlord. Like that guy you fought, in exchange for becoming a warlord, he became the reason why a monster came into my home. A monster named Arlong. He's the one who took my home and I want it back. Luffy stops eating, seeing Nami is clearly serious, and this seems to be why she was so quiet today. But putting his hat on her head, he said not to be so secretive. There's really no treasure in here, huh? Nami said. I never lie about something like that. Jeez. You want us to help? Don't put it like that. It sounds gross. Yeah, that's more like you. But if I was asking, would you? Of course I would. How heartless do you think I am? Hey, you gotta trust us more, Usopp said. Looking forward, Nami then saw everyone with Sanji and, like trying to ask why she looks so sad, and they can tell that she has been hiding something. Luffy, what'd you do? Sanji asked. What's that supposed to mean? You're the You're the one who kicked a customer, and your mood switches out of nowhere, you cranky ass captain. Did they all notice something was off? Nami thought. And then she heard no more arguing. Like, they just stopped and they just looked at her, waiting for her to say something, while she was embarrassed and hit her face with Luffy's hat. Help me get my home back, please. See, that wasn't so hard, was it? Zoro said. Freaking drama queen. Kicking him across the face, Sanji then said that he shouldn't, talk to women like that, as her feelings are important. And Zoro would then slash at him with Yosaku and Johnny backing him up. But, they get kicked away, and Zoro and Sanji start to fight. But Luffy has to stop them, and Nami is just left laughing because it feels so good to be on Mary. It's just always exciting. It's funny. But behind that rambunctious horseplay, everyone just cannot wait to go to Nami's home so they can clean it up, as it is clear she has some trouble. I'm going to have a little time skip. Nami walks into Arlong Park and she sees Arlong, Chu, Kurobi at his side, and Arlong would say, Nami, what? Hey, who'd you bring? That's not allowed, you know that. Oh, Nami's back, Hachin said as he walks out from the inside of the building, and he asks who's behind him. Elsewhere, at Zoro's feet, we'll then see a fish man, and elsewhere the same goes for Sanji at some part of the island. We'll be running away from a fisherman accompanied by Yosaku and Johnny. And Luffy, of course, is right behind Nami at Arlong Park as he then walks past Nami. And out of nowhere, he punches Arlong with enough force to send him flying through his own building. As Chu and Kurobi would then become enraged, they were both grabbed by Rika, who forms and almost crushes their skulls while they struggle, completely terrified. Hajin, for some reason, had lost consciousness, though. Not that anyone was preoccupied with that right now. Rika, give him a little nap. Okay, she said as she slightly tightened her grip, and the pressure from the pain was too much, and they just passed out. Luffy then walked into the building as he told Nami to go get her money from her home. I'll meet you later. But then Nami would then run out, while Arlong would then rise from the rubble and tower over Luffy. Human, you don't know what you just did. Trying to play hero? I'm not a hero. I'm a pirate. Annoyed by this condescending attitude, Arlong would then swing down with all his power, but Luffy simply catches the hit from above, leaving the fishman shocked, and even more so when his wrist is then snapped by the grip of Luffy, who with a scream would then grab him even tighter and throw him over his head and release him. Arlong is sent flying into the air, crashing into the ceiling, and then another, until he sees everything from above. That would be his crumbling home that Luffy was, of course, battering over and over, even as he was in the sky. You bastard! Luffy would then leave from the building, and Arlong would then rip out his teeth as they regrow in place, and uses his old pair to jab forward, but with a punch, Luffy would then crush the teeth and crush Arlong's jaw along with the new pair of teeth, saying, "Disgusting." As Arlong is left wobbled, he begins to fall, and he is caught by a now flying Luffy, who descends and throws him to the ground. And as quickly as he is thrown down, a giant sea king actually erupts from their sea pool with a murderous gaze as it lunges towards Luffy, who would turn to face him, about to unleash his blade, when unknowingly he uses the Conqueror Spirit. This leaves the creature so terrified and overtaken by it that it passes out and crashes into the sea beside Luffy, foaming at the mouth, and Luffy is just kind of confused. Was it sick? The hell? He then looks and finally notices Hachin also passed out, and this confusion, would just grow. And then he would hear some splashing and see Arlong has gone and, dived into the sea, the pool, and slowly, as he dives in as well and slowly descends, he is almost hit by a sharp nose from Arlong, but he dodges and watches as the fishman flies around him at incredible speed. "You idiot, you actually followed me? Maybe you're strong on land, but down here, I rule, you bastard." He heads to pierce Luffy, while Luffy would then grab his sword, and despite the water that should be restraining him, he swings up and releases a blast of clean cursed energy that cleaves Arlong in half, starting from his nose to the end of his feet, or I guess in this case, just like, him being split by his ass. And his last thoughts were about how he lost to a human in the sea, and Luffy sheathes his blade as he flies back up and leaps up out of the water and just lands. Meanwhile, Nami had already met Captain Nezumi. Literally looks like a rat, and Nezumi literally means rat in Japanese. And he was at her home with some of his men, and Genzo led them there. And this is when Nami would ask, "What do you want?" "Oh, I've just been told that you're a thief, all the treasure you've stashed. I'm afraid you're gonna have to hand it over." Nami is taken aback by this man, his way of speaking in nefarious intentions. "I can't believe I thought pirates sucked. You're worse than them. You have no right to take anything from her, you hear me?" Genzo said. Quickly after, he's then restrained, with Nezumi then telling his men to go and search her house, but as they tried to, they felt the presence of death. They all froze. "Do you have to do that all the time? Your cursed energy is leaking, Luffy." Quickly turning, the Marines would then see the drenched pirate, who looked deadly, saying Arlong really pissed him off and he just couldn't help it. "What do you think you're doing to my navigator?" You must be stupid," Nezumi said. "You not know who I am and whose territory you're on?" "Oh yeah, about that. As of now, Arlong is deceased. If you want to cause ruckus, I'm afraid it won't be here." Rika would then form and make her way out, towering over all of them as she stretches her arms out, and Genzo as well as the Marines were left completely horrified until she stopped in her tracks, saying, "Boo." The terrified Marines then run the opposite way past Luffy and just scream at the top of their lungs, and Nezumi would then yell for someone to go check the validity of what this pirate just said, and Nami would then laugh, thanking Rika for what she had done, as she nods, saying, "They're just pipsqueaks." And Genzo, meanwhile, was still shocked, so much so that he was left on the ground, still shaking, but Nami would then help him up and calm him down, and she also introduces her captain. "Luffy, Rika, meet Genzo. Genzo, meet Luffy and Rika." Waving to them in the daze, Genzo would then remember saying, "Wait, Arlong is dead?" Luffy would then nod when Nojiko then runs in calling for Nami, and upon seeing her, she's so happy to meet her sister again. Whoa, what is that?" she says. She points to Rika, and Nami says that this is going to take really long to explain every single time. So, essentially, after finding the base of Arlong ruined, the Marines would flee, with Nezumi sending out a report, putting out a bounty on Luffy, but this bizarre spirit couldn't, be in there yet, because they don't have a picture of it, but, he notes that it was there. Usopp managed to beat a fishman, and, using his traps, ingenuity, you know what I'm saying? The Straw Hats gather at Nami's house, all the villagers come out, hearing everything had been finished. They were so overjoyed that they threw a party. What was the most amazing for them, however, personally, was to see Genzo be healed of all his scars, courtesy of Luffy. He looks so young as he did years ago, and he just looks like fresh, Genzo has been through some stuff, I just want to give him that. So they took the pleasure of all just tearing down Arlong Park, while Hachin escapes, so that sucks, but, Hachin gets better later, so I gotta save our boy, you feel me? But Nami had one more matter, and that, she wanted a tattoo. She also gets that done, and we cut to the next day. Getting on their ship, the Strats are already leaving, but Yoseko and Johnny decided to stop their journey here, and sitting atop Mary's head, Luffy is left contemplating what it means to have killed the Arlong. Fishermen, for all intents and purposes, probably won't let us just walk around easily if they find us, will they? Start the ship! He's startled and looks forward to see Nami running over, as he would then yell for Usopp and Zoro to start the sails, and the wind would then begin to take them away, as Nami would then run past the townspeople in the way until she leaps to the skies. Nami, wait, we didn't even get to say thank you. Why are you rushing? She lands on the deck and stands in silence until she begins to lift up her shirt and lets out fall wallets and belongings. And upon seeing this, everyone checks their pockets, as Nami would then smirk, saying, "Sorry about that. You freaking thief, you tricked us." "Way to go, Nami Swan." "Yeah, she hasn't changed a bit," says Usopp. "I still don't trust her," Zoro said. This is classic, Luffy said. Looking forward, Luffy then actually saw Genzo with a smile, and he put a thumbs up because he had a promise to keep. And yeah, they sail away. Nami says goodbye. The people were too tired of screaming and fell to the ground, with Nojiko then thinking that she was way too alike to Bellmare. "Have fun, Nami," she thought. We're gonna fade to black again. Luffy is sleeping atop Mary's head. It's been a day, and he's then startled by the voice of Usopp and rolls off the head, but he catches himself and begins to fly. Jeez, what? You can fly? Never mind. Look, he shows him a poster of himself, and he would land saying, "Oh, I got a bounty of 30 million. Everyone's ears would perk up as they, have different reactions, with Sanji then saying, "So they didn't see your fight with Mihawk." "Sorry, Luffy." "Nah, it's all good. I'm glad no one caught it. But we're still going to be chased by Marines now," Nami said. "Yep, our true piracy journey begins now. Being recognized," says Usopp. "Well, you're being recognized, and therefore us. I don't care what you get, like 100 million. The Navy doesn't really know what you can do yet," Zoro said. Taking a moment, they actually think about it, because it's been crazy every time that Luffy does anything. And they kind of switch the positions a bit, and a panicky Luffy would say, "Oh, come on, this is still pretty good. Look what you did, Zoro." "He's a meathead, what do you expect?" Sanji says. "I am gonna slice your head off. Go ahead and try." Guys, stop. Seriously, we need to head to the Grand Line as fast as we can. Marines are going to leave us alone now," Nami said. "Oh, well, I see Loguetown," Luffy said. Pointing out to what he, says is pretty close. Now they know that they're near Reverse Mountain, because this is a sign that you're near getting, to the Grand Line. And they decided everyone, so they quickly make their way over. Isn't that where the Pirate King Roger was born?" Sanji asked. Everyone looks to Luffy, as this feels very close to his dream, and he says, "Yep. It's also where he died. The man that had everything." I wonder what he saw that day. They quickly then make it to the island and spread out to do different things. As quickly, Luffy would head to the platform and make his way through the crowd of people until he reaches the place, and leaps to the skies. And he would get on the platform, checking things out. But as he does, many begin to look at him atop the execution platform, while he just looks around, being wide of the audience that Roger must have had. "Hey, get down from there. Yeah, what is he doing? Is he insane?" A police officer at this point then makes his way through the crowd and uses a megaphone to tell Luffy to get off that platform, as it is under the jurisdiction of the world government. "So get down, right." The man is then cut short by a club to the face, without Vita then making herself known, as the citizens then panic, wondering why the hell she did that. Meanwhile, she looks to Luffy. "Hey there, Straw Hat. You haven't forgotten about me, have you?" Ignoring her, Luffy will then jump down and run past the woman, even though many are bewildered by her beauty. Even women are bewildered by her beauty. Luffy will then get to the officer, who he begins to heal. Turning around, Avita would then say, you haven't actually truly forgotten about me, right? I mean, you couldn't have. I haven't. The first man to ever hit my body, my lovely face. It's quite the feeling." At this point, the officer is then healed and opens his eyes, being confused, but he also gets taken by Avita's beauty and is left awestruck, love-struck, whatever. And Luffy would then get mad, asking why she hit him. "He didn't do anything to you. Why should I care? I'm a pirate. The most beautiful pirate on the seas." At this moment, men wearing hoods then throw the hoods off and reveal themselves to be part of Buggy's crew, as they make way for their captain and hold everyone they can at gunpoint, while having them make a circle around Luffy just to, clear the way. Avita and Buggy then actually, start to post up, surround him. And from above, let's say, I think it was Kabaji. Yeah, whatever. I don't really like this guy. Kabaji comes down with a strike using a blade, but Luffy would then catch it and crush it with his bare hands. "What? He broke the sword with his bare hand? What the hell are you?" yells Buggy. "That was made of sea stone prism." As he sends Kabaji flying with a kick, Luffy would then grab a hold of his sword, saying, "So what? I didn't eat a devil fruit." This leaves all those present wired, as Luffy would then unleash his blade, and he swings, releasing a massive blast of cursed energy. This hits and sends only pirates flying, including Avita, whose devil fruit just could not help. It's foreign energy. Nah. Even Haki would have destroyed herself. They crash into the execution platform as Luffy would then begin to run the opposite way when more police officers run his way, but he flips over them and lands, and many make way as he runs off, and lightning would then begin to strike as rain begins to pour, and Smoker would then make his entrance with his men. He quickly captures the pirates and then begins to chase after Luffy, who meets up with Sanji and Zoro, and also Usopp and Nami. And they were already like, what's it called? No, let's say Usopp and Nami are actually already on board the Mary. Yeah. So, they were waiting for them, but the Marines were already on their tail now, and Zoro would ask, what happened? Buggy attacked with Alvida? That Alvida? When did you get to meet her? Sanji says, man, you always get lucky, damn it. Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that. It's complicated, Luffy said. So the Marines then begin to chase, get closer down the street with Usopp, with Sanji then screaming out his guts when he sees a woman up ahead. She looks kind of battered, and Tashiki would then say that she was going to take Wado Ichimonji from Zoro, but performing the Unumaki sigil, Luffy would then say, sleep. As her ears would hear this, she falls and passes out, starts to snore, and the Marines would chase, they're chasing him, but they just stop and just scream in shock because they're worried, and Sanji would then ask, that's what you used against Mihawk? Just stop the Marines. Nah, this is kind of fun, Luffy said. You crazy bastard, pick a gimmick already, Sanji said. They run more and more, but from an alley, Smoker would then come out riding his motorcycle, and he gets off it with Luffy then telling Sanji and Zoro to go ahead. As they do, Luffy is then cornered from behind, as Smoker would then ask, what did you do to my partner? I had her take a nap, Luffy said, as he then had angry Marines attack from behind, but Rika would then form much to the shock of them as he fires a blast of cursed energy that sweeps them all up into it and massively hurts them all, but they're still alive because Luffy had her hold back. Smoker attacks enraged, and the smoke that he is made of would then envelop and catch Luffy, but with a spin, he blows it all away and appears behind Smoker, who he kicks, but of course he turns to smoke and holds Luffy, but once again Luffy blows it away and jumps back with Rika then flying over and catches him. And he would then throw a shard at Smoker, whose stomach is then pierced for real. He spews blood and falls to the floor, now having a hole in his stomach, and he realizes, Sea Stone, where'd you get this? From Buggy. Goodbye, sir, and you should stop smoking, it's bad for your lungs. Come on, Rika. Rika would then fly off at the speed of sound with Luffy, while Smoker tries to stop the bleeding and turns to find his men were now in critical condition, but they're actually slowly healing? How is that possible? That creature, its strength... Monkey D. Luffy. Damn it. As Luffy makes it to the ship, he puts away Rika, thanking her while they ride away to Reverse Mountain. And the sea is kind of rocky right now, and they make their same promise and goals to each other. And yeah, they go up the mountain. They begin to go down it. It already feels like a new world. It's crazy to see a reverse mountain. That's crazy. And they just like happy. We made it. Woo! Dancing side to side, Luffy, Sanji, and Usopp prance about like idiots with the wind blowing in their faces, and they're saying like, to the greatest sea we come. Hey, you guys hear something? Zoro asked. Running to the head of the Mary, Luffy would then look around and say, just enjoy the moment, and they pass some mist, and honestly, it's pretty cool, until they find a giant whale in their way, what they thought was a wall at first, and Sanji would say, it looks like a freaking wall or something. Where are its eyes? More importantly, what if we hit it? Usopp yells. Rika! The Ghost Spirit is then unleashed with her grabbing Mary's head and stopping their speed right as they come to a stop right beside the whale, and they're left with tears in their eyes due to almost incurring the wrath of this creature, and thank Rika, who shows a prideful pout. As they stand, Usopp would then run to the wheel and begin to turn Mary around, or Rika would then keep it from hitting the whale, and they soon are out of its path. However, the whale would then just dive back into the sea out of nowhere, rocking the seas and accidentally taking the straw hats into its mouth. As they scream, Rika would then prepare to go and go crazy, but Luffy says to stop, and their ship would then, swirl deep into the underbelly of the beast, but Luffy says, it's okay, Rika, this isn't gonna kill me. Freezing up, Rika would then look sad as she leaves while everyone yells and calls him an idiot. Can you kill it? Zoro asks. Yeah? Then why don't you? Because this thing's in a normal amount of emotional pain. This tidbit leaves them confused because they don't know that Luffy can sense emotion, right as they come to a stop and look around, seeing something unbelievable. There was a sky here, a home not far off, like a little island, and it was just unbelievably bizarre. And then a squid comes from under, and it goes to attack, but it was harpooned from behind and slammed back into the water. It slowly is then pulled towards someone who walks out from that house, and Sanji would say, whoever lives here, I hope they're human. The man who walks out would be an elder who gave off an intense pressure as he reeled the fish in, so everyone was expecting a fight until he just took a seat on a beach chair nearby and opened up a newspaper. What the hell was all that suspense for? They all yell. We have a cannon. We'll take you on, Usopp said. Hey, calm down, Luffy said. Forget it, the old man said. Someone would die. Me, obviously. As they all facepalm, Sanji would then yell for him to get serious, and Crocus would then ask why they're even here. you want to leave, take the exit. Oh, thank you, sir, Luffy said. Also, why does a whale have an exit? Actually, wait. He points out that this is all painted on. The sky, the clouds, none of it is real, which puts into question what this old man is doing, and everything begins to shake, and they ask what's going on. Crocus would explain that Lebu is slamming his head against the Grand Line, and this leads to them thinking that he's trying to end the creature from inside. Nothing much changes from here, so they're going to leave, and this is a bad taste in their mouth. They can't really do much about it, except maybe kill the creature, but that seems somehow worse. They don't really know what's going on, like fully don't know the story. So they go for the exit. The same things occur with, Crocus then going to get the tranquilizer. He dives into the water. And of course, Baroque work agents land on the Starlight ship and fire Lebu's skin, his walls. But Crocus will then jump in the way. As he begins to fall, the Luffy takes to the skies and flies and catches him, leaving Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday surprised, right as they are then punched to the floor in anger by Zoro. The hell's wrong with these guys, Nami said. Luffy at this point then flies back, already having healed Crocus, who checks himself, being extremely baffled at what just happened. He is of course a doctor, so this phenomenon is pretty interesting and bizarre to him, and he would then stand and thank Luffy. "You're bizarre, young man," says the man living in a whale, Sanji said. "Seriously, what is going on here?" Crocus would then tell him the entire story behind the whale as they tied up the troublemakers and made their way out through the exit before then taking a seat around the lighthouse. There was a table nearby, and Nami then yells, "How could they just leave him here?" The choice is not theirs. The Grand Line is full of things humans can't even imagine. The sea is treacherous like that. We've been evading most of his troubles because of her captain. This leaves Nami tight-lipped as she looks to Luffy, who would then stand up asking, "Laboon can understand humans, right?" "Yeah," said Crocus. "Why?" He then stops talking when he senses an eerie energy begin to swell around the young man, but it's different from what even his crew usually feels. "The supreme color of hockey," Crocus yells. At this moment, Luffy would then leap into the air and scream, "Be blown away!" The technique of the Inumaki sigil takes a hold of Laboon, who is then sent flying with everyone screaming and asking what he's doing, but Crocus is just shocked at what he just did, that he can move a creature of Laboon's size, and as the whale crashes far off, he angrily swims back to Luffy, who then lunges at him with him unleashing his blade and meeting him with a counter as sparks of black lightning as well as red release between the two. This actually knocks back Laboon into the sea, leaving Luffy heaving as he was confused, wondering why he had just released this bizarre new energy. And this is when he actually focuses back on Laboon. You need to think about that later. And he says, "I'm pretty strong, right?" The whale will then stop in his tracks as he goes to attack Luffy again. And Luffy says that he'll come back and challenge him. "Until then, you're not allowed to just hurt yourself like this, because we got a beef to settle, alright?" Tears begin to flow as Luffy will then ascend to his nose and release most of his positive cursed energy, the most he's ever had to, because this thing is gigantic. And he begins to regenerate the Sea King. While Luffy would then fall to his knees from slight exhaustion, he falls to the floor, like he falls really high. His crew would then run over, and Sanji and Zoro would then help him up. And Laboon would then wail to the skies to show that he has will to keep this promise alive. He's gonna listen, like Luffy is legit caring about him. "It's alright, I'm good," Luffy said, and the two would then let him go. As Usopp would then ask what that black and red stuff was, but even Luffy doesn't know. But Crocus would then say something, and he says that it was something that's gonna get stronger as he continues to get stronger himself. "That hat, who gave it to you?" "Oh, Shanks." "Shanks?" His crew would yell, leaving Luffy confused as they ask if that's the same guy who made the Red Hair Pirates group, and Luffy would then nod. "Is he a big deal?" "Dude, he's one of the four Emperors of the Sea." "So that's who taught you. Damn it. Why don't you talk about this stuff?" Zoro yells. "Why am I being bullied here?" Luffy would then end up being on the receiving end of a bunch of questions, which leave him completely drained of so much power that he falls asleep, and Crocus has to help him, be okay, because he's the only one that knows about this hockey drainage shit. And in the end, they just stay and eat and talk. Crocus tells him a bit about hockey because he knows that they'll be facing it, so he wants to impart a bit of knowledge. He tells them about the 3 types, and yeah. The 2 Baroque Work agents then also wake up eventually and see the group just, messing around, and they also see Nami messing with the lock pulls that she took from them. "Hey, give that back," yells Miss Wednesday. "It's a small price to pay for the trouble you caused us, don't you think?" she said. How will Luffy train his hockey now that he knows that he has it? What of the Baroque Work agents? Find out the next part of One Piece. It's been your boy, Prince of What Ifs, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Peace. I'm gone.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat. You'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious. Release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blown me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn, and I'm independent, so I'm not your fucking starving like it's.